Hello guys and welcome to another video. So today we're going to be talking about if the earth had rings. So this is a very complicated topic and I'll tell you some reasons why the earth does not have rings. So first of all, is this even possible? Well, Saturn has rings, Jupiter has rings, Uranus has rings, and Neptune has rings, and even some asteroids have been recorded with rings. Okay, so big things have rings and little things have rings, so why not intermediate things? I mean, none of the interplanetary rules for making rings exclude medium planets. So we do technically have man-made rings already from space debris and space junk that have collected around the Earth in the past years, but the rings that we are talking about are like 100% natural organic rings like the ones that Saturn has. Okay, so it's almost impossible for the Earth to have rings, but if we did have rings, this is probably most likely how they formed. So probably in the early days of the solar system, a huge asteroid came in orbit around the Earth, and its orbit slowly decayed and decayed until the Earth's tidal forces ripped it apart, hence giving us rings. Don't expect these rings to be as majestic and beautiful as Saturn, because Saturn's rings are mostly icy and that's what gives them their unique colors. But with the Earth rings, we would probably just have some grayish rings just because ours would be made of rock, not ice, just because we are so much closer to the sun and all that ice would eventually melt. So the inner limit of our rings would probably coincide with the end of our atmosphere, the reason being that rings would crash down on Earth if they had any air interfere. Okay, so this is the reason why we do not have any rings. So it is almost impossible for the Earth to have rings just because, first of all, it is extremely unlikely that an asteroid will come inside the Earth's Roche limit. And second of all, within 4 or 5 years, the solar tides and the lunar tides will eventually just rip these ring systems apart. So this is it's complicated part, because even if we did get rings, it would probably not last very long. But putting reality aside, if the Earth did have rings, it would have a very interesting effect on our culture, just because now we have so many myths and stories about our moon, so now we would have a lot of myths and stories about our moon and our rings. So also in our skies, this would make a big difference. So now the ancient people could actually calculate the distance between stars and could actually calculate the distance from our moon and could see that our Earth was round. So this would make a really great effect on ancient astronomy, but for modern astronomy, it would be almost impossible to get a rocket launched into space while you would have to go around the rings. Also, from the equator, the ring would look like one straight line going directly overhead, while on the poles and on the North Pole and the South Pole, it would literally be one broad line on the horizon. So we would also even have, so we have lunar eclipses now. So now we would have actually ring eclipses in which the Earth casts a shadow on our rings. So this is how philosophers could tell if our Earth was round, just because we could see how our Earth cast a shadow on our rings. Okay guys, that is all the time that I have today. So thank you for watching this video, and please drop a like and subscribe and comment what you want for my next video. Thank you guys, bye!